Brilliant.
Revenue infrastructure, at the end of the day, one of the things we forget about is you hear a lot about marketing operations, sales operations, revenue operations. All of these folks who do these positions are really smart, really talented people, but they're typically focused more on the front end of things, right? They're not focused on the infrastructure of what's going on behind the scenes with all the different tools. And the infrastructure, which you have built behind there is, Marketo is connected to Salesforce. Salesforce is connected to any other data warehouse, right? So there's a ton of different tools out there. And that infrastructure on the back end is really where the sausage is made, right? That's how all the systems are going to talk. So when you think about the effort that you're doing in marketing, right? Maybe you're doing a marketing campaign, maybe you're sending an email, maybe you're running advertising. All of that information that you do has to be correctly tagged so that way the infrastructure can actually consume that data and then make that data usable later, because the data doesn't just sit in one tool. It's got to move around between all of these different tools. And it's the operations team that's responsible for helping make sure this data moves around. The first thing you need to really focus on is your technology. If you're a one-person landscaping company and you really want to be able to grow that business, you need to take technology serious early on, because that's going to be the competitive advantage that you're going to have. So you do want to start thinking about what are the tools I'm going to use, what's going to make me successful, what's going to help me automate that business, because at the end of the day, your tools are meant to take over and do work for you, right? I would say it doesn't matter how small of a business you are, you need to make sure that you are focused on getting good technology, which will help you grow your business. And then of course, the infrastructure component of it. If you're a small business and you connect, let's just say as an example, you have HubSpot as your marketing automation tool and you have Salesforce as your CRM. Connecting those tools together, that's the beginning of setting up your revenue infrastructure, right? Because those two tools are, of course, now going to communicate and share data. So, I think data is really, really important early on. You need to focus on your objectives and your strategy as a company and then back your tools into that. Most companies choose tools because they're cool and because a sales rep told me it's going to do something and it's a shiny object, which is the wrong way to choose a tool. So the first thing you want to do, and this is what we do with our clients, when a client comes to us and say, hey, listen, we want to re-architect our stack. We want to look at a new CRM. We want to look at a new customer data platform, whatever it may be. The first thing we question, what are your objectives? What are your key results? How will you know you're successful? What is your business strategy? What are you trying to accomplish? So we ask all these questions and we try to understand what is the business going to do over the next couple of years? What are the objectives? What is the strategy? Things like that. That's the first thing we start with. We always tell companies that they need to get is a website, obviously, right? Like that is still a tool. WordPress is still a product. So is Webflow. So is all the other Wix sites. I don't care what you use. So either way, get a website, right? But that's obvious. The next tool that we really hyper focus on is you need to make sure that you have a marketing automation tool. How am I going to store the data that my customers give me about them? I need to save their first name, their last name, their email, and all that stuff. So a marketing automation tool is going to be one of the biggest tools you need to add to your stack. Next, if you're a B2B business, you're going to need a CRM, right? A traditional sales CRM is going to be the next thing that you're going to need. And you're going to couple that with your marketing automation tool. So those are two real big parts of anybody's stack, right? Those are the hubs of the systems in many cases. And then the last thing you have to make sure that you have, of course, is analytics. Google Analytics will do a good job, but that's just traffic to your website. What you really need to do is have more of an upgraded version of analytics, like maybe Mixpanel, Amplitude, or even a Kissmetrics. Those are behavioral analytics products. So they not only track what the customer is doing on the website, they track all the behaviors that they have, but they also will track who's doing it. The problem that you run into whenever you're choosing a platform that does both is that you're compromising, right? You're basically saying, I'm willing to settle on features so that way I can have an easy user interface. And I think this makes sense for a lot of companies. HubSpot, marketing automation tied with HubSpot CRM, it makes it a lot easier for the marketing people and the salespeople to do their job because it's all kind of connected. Yep. The problem is with those things is that it's not extremely advanced. It's very, very limited, right? Because you're no longer using a best in breed tool. Now, I would say that HubSpot marketing automation is a best in breed tool. I would not say their CRM is a best in breed tool. I think they're definitely making some leaps and bounds there. However, it's not a best in breed tool. HubSpot automation as well does everything under the sun. So it doesn't do many things very, very well. I would say it's 60% good at everything and 40% bad at everything, right? So I definitely think if you're trying to keep it simple for the team that you have, I think the platform approach makes a ton of sense.